employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Some kids worry about making the sports team. Others worry about where they'll sleep tonight. In Lincoln, 300 kids are in need of a safe and loving home. Cedars is here for them, but we do need your help. A gift to Cedars makes an immediate impact on Lincoln's kids. And on Give to Lincoln Day, your gift goes even further. I'm Jim Blue, president of the Cedars organization, and I'm asking you to go to givetolincoln.com to make your gift to Cedars and support Lincoln's kids today.
Tailored Life is now open in Bennett. Make the short drive and Highway 2 for tons of items doors. Check out their variety of potted trees, shrubs, vines, perennials, and colorful annuals. Plus, porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors. Plus, convenient drinks and snacks, most which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and we are celebrating a record sales month in April. We're going to let roll and crank up in the month of May. We have some big discounts and special interest rates going on this month on selected new in-stock Sierras and Silverados. Buy a new Silverado or Sierra, get $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. You heard right, $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. We have outstanding specials on all of our new and pre-owned GM certified units. So stop on in and see us or check us out online at cobblecars.com. You'll be glad you did. New discount must trade in and finance with Group Credit.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beers, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of showers and maybe a few thunderstorms later today, too, with a high of around 81. Tonight, we'll see another chance of showers and storms with a low of around 60. And tomorrow, we'll see a continued chance of showers and storms. See an afternoon high tomorrow of around 80. Meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 Ticket and the TicketFM.com.
Gather round. This is the Ticket Water Cooler.
This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game.
Coming at you live in the heart of Lincoln, America.
I say, hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
On air and online at theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Jake Bakoven, Enrique Alvarez Clary.
We are glad to be back with you here on the Ticket Water Cooler on a Tuesday. Plenty to break down in the world of sports and in Husker football. So we'll spend our time doing that. Rico just told me he just got his teeth cleaned, so he's ready. He's already eaten some chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I look.
Uh-oh, something didn't go right.
1 second. I did finish eating the chocolate.
Oh,
look, I went in. They told me my teeth were great. They were fantastic.
No cavities.
Keep doing what I'm doing. So I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, what I do is eat candy.
Although I do have my wisdom teeth on the top.
Yeah,
those two. They're like, you're gonna have to get those removed. At some point. They don't hurt. Nothing wrong with them. They're just like, yeah, you just might want to get those removed at some point. So now I gotta figure out some time to take some time off from work and get my wisdom teeth out.
One of the worst feelings in my life when I got my wisdom teeth taken out. It wasn't necessarily that. It was part of the process. It wasn't like them actually doing it. But when they numb at least they needed to numb the area where my teeth came out, so they had to go through the roof of my mouth with a shot, and it just felt like it was going through like like a starfish or something. It was just the sound, the
Don't want
feeling.
to do that.
Yeah. So
I know when they, I got some like couple fillings, but they like take the giant needle and like put it into your
yeah,
gums,
right.
and they're just like, okay, you're gonna feel a little bit of pressure, and I'm just like, can you numb it before you put that in to numb it? Because I don't like the look of this needle.
Yes, needles scare almost everybody.
I'm all the way out.
Yeah. Well, you'll probably have to use someone if you get those taken out.
Just knock me out. I don't knock me out.
Cost you.
Knock me out. I don't care.
Yeah.
Knock me out. I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, you might be able to talk to it, or you just need to make a friend with the gas guy.
Exactly. I'll be like, hey, can you just hit me over the head with a bat?
I think that might.
Nah, I don't care. That's better than a needle.
So we gotta get first and foremost your thoughts on AJ Allen going to Miami. I think a lot of people feel he was one of the top running backs in that room. Left. So the news that he went to the transfer portal, obviously very old. The fact that he's going to Miami, to me at least, not a surprise. And it kind of fits along with what I figured was him and Ernest Hausmann are your biggest, most sought after guys in the transfer portal. They're hitting the biggest landing spot so far.
Usually, not usually, but you've seen a lot of people who have transferred out of at least Nebraska end up at not Power 5 spots. So seeing, younger players the caliber of Ernest Hausmann and AJ Allen, who you did believe were probably going to be foundational pieces that you could build your team around in the future, leave and end up at Ernest Hausmann at a college football playoff caliber team in Michigan, and AJ Allen at a extremely good program who's kind of on the rise again in Miami. It hurts, and that's something that people will be discussing for quite some time. If he had the talent to go to Miami, why didn't he have the talent to be here, and why did he stay and be for the number one job, what have you? But sometimes the fit is there. Sometimes the relationships that were there before, especially for AJ Allen and for Ernest Hausmann as well, the guys who recruited you and who brought you in aren't here anymore. It's an entirely new coaching staff. Even if you are as talented as they are, if the relationship, if the feeling of belonging that you had when you committed and when you were on campus with a certain coaching staff isn't there, then you can't really blame them for leaving, because it's not just about getting out there and playing football and being the best player. It's about feeling like a family. And this is in no way saying that Rule and company didn't have Hausmann and AJ feeling as if they were family, or anybody else transfer feeling as family. I'm just saying that the guys that recruited them and brought them in, that they were extremely close with. I mean, AJ Allen was committed or almost committed to TCU, and Applewhite. Applewhite gets hired in Nebraska. He follows him to Nebraska. So obviously there was some type of fantastic relationship there. So this is in no way me saying that Rule and company aren't doing things the right way. When that feeling isn't there for some players, despite them having all the talent in the world, they're gonna go somewhere else to make them feel like they want to be there.
Also, side note, I don't think it's too bad to spend your college years in Miami. I think if I got off the office, I'd be among.
Yeah, I'd rather be in Coral Gables than Lincoln.
Right. Yeah.
During football season.
Yeah. And well, other than game, I like to watch the.
Oh yeah.
Not a whole lot of.
If I wasn't a fan of Nebraska, if I'm a recruit getting recruited and I got offers from Nebraska and I got an offer from Miami, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, and it might be shallow, it might be a little pet, but I'm gonna go work there.
Yeah.
And I know everybody's like, "You want to play in the NFL? It's gonna be cool." Yeah, I get that, but for 3 years, I don't have to deal with it.
Plus, I mean,
until we go up and play Boston College in September.
Yeah, I mean, the ACC is expanded into the east, northeast a little bit there, but for the most part, there are NFL teams in the warm weather teams.
Yeah. Hopefully, I get drafted by Miami or Dallas, or if I go up drafted by a team that plays in the dome, so you play most of your games inside. It'll be all right.
I just want to sign that. If I had a list of a bunch of college towns I could spend the next 4 years in Miami, I might choose Miami. That's why Miami.
Hawaii wouldn't be too bad either.
Hawaii wouldn't be too bad, but that's why I think Miami is cool. It's because we know they're cool, and they embrace the bad guys, all that. I think that's part of their history too, and that's fun. And I think they should bring back the turnover chain. I thought that was kind of cool too.
I think the NCAA took it away.
Did they?
They're taking away a lot of fun things. Like for baseball, they made it so I don't know I don't know the teams with these celebrations, but there was a team that used a sledgehammer
Oh,
after
yeah.
like a home run. They would bring it out and just like
Yeah.
slam it on the
NCAA didn't like
yeah.
it?
NCAA like no sledgehammer.
Hmm.
There was like some like Viking hat or something for another team, and the NCAA is like can't have that. So they're just taking away a lot of the fun things. So teams are trying to figure out ways to celebrate and have fun while appeasing the NCAA.
And now they want to take away gambling.
How dare they?
Yeah, that's fun.
How dare you want to take away gambling?
What's better than athletes gambling on the game they're playing?
Exactly. I see zero problems with this. It's been happening for years.
Yeah, it probably has been, but now it's a lot somewhat easier to track. If you haven't heard, there's
UNLV.
well, there you go. The University of Iowa and Iowa State are both. For some reason, this is a problem in Iowa, particularly.
Yeah.
But are both kind of looking at maybe suspected of wagering on sports in violation of NCAA rules. This has to do with a lot of their athletes. For Iowa in particular, it's a lot of guys, a lot of people, I should say, not just guys and gals that have moved on from the program. But I think they have 26 current athletes across 5 sports that are under review right now. Iowa State has 15 of its athletes across football, wrestling, and track and field that are suspected of violating gambling rules. And I wonder too. I mean, we see this in the NFL. I'm really intrigued to see, all of this with the backdrop of Alabama's fired baseball coach, who was suspected of having suspicious betting activity with their game against LSU. I'm interested because the NFL kind of had the same thing with the Detroit Lions group and Jameson Williams, and his agent came out right away and said this is not a Lions game thing. They were just putting some wagers on what almost anybody can do on their phone now.
Yeah.
If depending on what state you live in, and if even if you don't live in one of those states, you can probably find a way. But that's what I'm interested to see is like how much of this is just like college kids betting on throwing $5-10 on an NBA game or an NFL game.
Yeah.
I mean that's okay, somewhat understandable slap on the wrist type of situation compared to betting on the game that can determine the outcome.
Yeah, I mean the Alabama coach was betting on their own games.
Yes.
So I don't know what he was betting on them to win or lose or whatever, but it was when they were playing the number 1 team, LSU. So that obviously betting on the game that you're playing is extremely suspect. But if it's just outside games, outside professional games or games in your conference that you aren't taking part of, I mean the NCAA has made it clear that they don't want student athletes gambling and I mean coaches gambling on obviously games that they're playing, but I don't really know how serious things are going to get unless it was games that they were playing or events that they were taking part in, like the track and field athletes, if they were betting on, which I didn't even know you could do that, betting on some of the races that they're running. Very easy to fix that up if you're betting on somebody else to win. You're the fastest in your heat or whatever, and you're betting on somebody else to win. You kind of, my hamstring's a little tight, slow up a little bit, something like that. So it's going to be really interesting to see where the NCAA goes with these punishments, because you kind of figure that they're not going to throw this out there into the universe and not punish anybody for it. I mean, it was 23-ish athletes at the University of Iowa who are suspected of gambling. So somebody's going to take the fall. Somebody's probably going to get hit harder than others. But I don't see this being thrown out there and somebody not getting in trouble for it. But it's going to be all on what they were gambling on, because the Detroit Lions players, as you were saying, gambling on whatever they were doing, and it wasn't gambling on the Lions. The only reason they got in trouble was because they did it in the Lions facility.
Yeah.
So for Iowa, is it just them gambling, or is it them gambling on campus or in the football, basketball, track facilities?
It might be obviously the difference between professional and college athletes there. They might just not want them to gamble at all. I'm not really sure. We'll see kind of how it plays out. This is a kind of new territory, at least as far as recently. You mentioned some UNLV stuff back
Well,
then.
I think this has been going on. Like, I was listening to early break earlier, and they were talking about this, and Bill Bush was talking about, he knows more about the NCAA rulings on this than any of us here. So listening to him talk about that, and Bill, Sip, and Jake were saying something about it's going to be all over with phones now.
Yeah.
But this is kind of been a thing. You haven't heard about this in the college ranks for quite some time, but this has been a thing that's been happening. Matches getting fixed and games getting fixed has been happening for years. So it's not just the phones, and it's not just this generation or anything. I'm not saying that they said that, but the phone thing that are betting on games now. But with it being so widespread and being legalized in many different places, the availability of gambling and the ease of gambling is everywhere, and it's a lot easier to get to these things via your phone. But this isn't something that's unheard of in the sporting ranks.
Yeah, it is, and it's something that's kind of been in the backdrop. But I do think the phones does make it, a lot easier. If you were going to kind of try to fix things before, you were probably going to try to really cash in, and you have to know a guy and travel or whatever. Now
I know a guy who knows it.
Yeah. Now you just pick up a phone and it doesn't have to be anything major. Put $5 on something, but again, I don't know like that stuff. I don't know how much of a you might have to adjust the rules if you're the NCAA with the changing times, kind of how that stuff is viewed. But we'll see, because I've heard whispers too about this, and this was this basically when the Alabama baseball thing broke. It was like, okay, this is just the beginning of what a lot that's going to come out is what some people are saying. And I wonder if this was it. Was this the Iowa State stuff? Was that what what was people in the know, I suppose, were kind of thinking about, or is there going to be a lot more to this? So that's really interesting. We'll continue to kind of break that down. We are up against the break, so we should take one. We'll talk a little bit about what was talked about last night with Matt Rule on his radio program. Lots of interesting tidbits there, including maybe some quarterbacks. The door's left open for them to return. A walk-on linebacker who might be playing in the pros someday, according to Matt Rule. So we'll get into that conversation coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or chin molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere sprayer from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Leverage the industry's latest technology with See & Spray to target weeds in season in corn and soybeans and use less herbicide per acre. Utilize Exact Apply to save in chemical usage and prevent over-application. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. There are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery, online at BeatriceBakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Look at your car. It's filthy and probably has a few dings and nicks all over it. Don't be that guy. Get it upgraded and repaired at Renew Your Auto. At Renew Your Auto, they offer tons of services: ceramic coating, window tinting, paintless dent repair, washes and details, bed liners, body shop, and more. Where can you go to get services like that all in one place? Schedule your appointment today at RenewYourAuto.com. See what Renew can do for you.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather, sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of showers and maybe a few thunderstorms later today, too, with a high of around 81. Tonight, we'll see another chance of showers and storms with a low of around 60. And tomorrow, we'll see a continued chance of showers and storms. Afternoon high tomorrow around. Meteorologist Kyle Husker for 93.7 The Ticket and TicketFM.com.
Some kids worry about making the sports team. Others worry about where they'll sleep tonight. In Lincoln, 300 kids are in need of a safe and loving home. Cedars is here for them, but we do need your help. A gift to Cedars makes an immediate impact on Lincoln's kids. And on Give to Lincoln Day, your gift goes even further. I'm Jim Blue, president of the Cedars organization. And I'm asking you to go to givetolincoln.com to make your gift to Cedars and support Lincoln's kids today.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
This is Jay Foreman. When I played football for Nebraska and in the NFL, I wore protective gear to safeguard my health. Today, I'm not only protecting my health, but everyone in our community by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Update your protection with the bivalent COVID vaccine while it's still free. Find out more at healthylincoln.org. That's healthylincoln.org.
Vershawn Jackson for Brand Excavating. Brand's been in business for 29 years, and they specialize in a variety of things. If you're looking for someone to get the job done in precision demolition, excavating, trucking, mass grading, and site prep, Brand is the place to call. To set up a quote or learn more, call Brand Excavating at 402-474-4113 or go to brandexcavating.com. They're also hiring, so join the team today. Brand Excavating, a part of the Bauer brand, who reminds you, go be brave.
Motor Food is Lincoln's hardest rocking food truck and cafe. Motor Food creates old school comfort food with a 21st century twist and lots of rock and roll attitude. Try the barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese, grilled chicken Firebird sandwich, a 100% all beef split grilled hot dog, and any version of their funky fries. Stop by the cafe just behind Outback Steakhouse on 48th Street or catch the food truck out and about all spring and summer. Check out their menu or a carry out or schedule a catering at motorfoodtruck.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and we are celebrating a record sales month in April. We're going to let it roll and crank up in the month of May. We have some big discounts and special interest rates going on this month. Selected new in-stock Sierra Silverados. Buy a new Silverado or Sierra, get $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. You heard right, $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. We have outstanding specials on all of our new and pre-owned GM certified units. So stop on in and see us or check us out online at cobblecars.com. You'll be glad you did. New discount must trade in and finance approved credit.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Back to the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is a beautiful day to be a Boston Celtics fan as the Celtics have Game 5 coming up tonight. Not a great day to be a New York Knicks fan. Have you given up on the season? Have you given up yet?
No, things are still possible. They're just highly unlikely.
Yeah. Oh, well, such is life. I
got cheated last night.
Well, I'm a little bit worried about you because I think the Knicks are a good team. Tom Thibodeau's a good coach, but they're not necessarily at the championship level.
No.
But you were able to talk yourself into, okay, 100%. Well, they could beat this one.
They could.
Here it comes. Yeah.
It's still possible.
Still possible.
Thibodeau is like 0-7 when down 3-1. So
Tom Thibodeau is interesting, and if you're a Husker fan, brace with me for a second, because I think there's this idea that there's a ceiling for Tom Thibodeau teams. Of course, he coached the Bulls, the Derrick Rose teams for years and years. He had the Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns teams in Minnesota. Not as good, but what he's done with the Knicks and getting them back to contention, I kind of think is, for a second I thought, I just don't know if Tom Thibodeau, what's the thought with the Knicks here? Are they going to, how much longer are they going to give Tom Thibodeau? And obviously he's doing great. I mean, I'm not saying this year was good. It's just, Tom Thibodeau's kind of got that feeling that he's got a ceiling. But at the same time, I'm thinking, who is he supposed to win a championship with so far? You know what I mean? That Bulls team was good, but there was playing in the East. It was, and they did about as good as what they,
ran up against Braun and that Celtics team with the 3 Hall of Famers. Minnesota, you're in the West, and you don't have a superstar to speak of on your team at the time. And Andrew Wiggins, Karl Anthony Towns. You had Jimmy Butler for a little bit. I don't know if he was there for a whole season.
Year, I think.
Yeah, but And even then, Jimmy Butler wasn't a star at the time. Like, he was like a really good player, but he wasn't a star like he is now in Miami. So, um, he's never, outside of Derrick Rose, had a superstar to really coach or to work with. And those Derrick Rose Bulls teams probably got the closest to going to an NBA Finals out of all the teams that he's coached. He knows how to win. He was on that Celtics team that won the NBA championship, but I don't know. I kind of agree with you. A ceiling to Thibodeau's teams just because of the way that they play basketball in the regular season does not lend itself to postseason success because you've got your best players playing damn near 48 minutes a night for the entire regular season. Then it gets to postseason time, their bodies are worn down, and at this point, everybody's supposed to be making contributions. You know, the Heat are using what feels like a 12-man bench. They're just throwing people at you left and right, and the Knicks are like, all right, we've got 6 guys that we're really going to trust. Other than that, you're just going to
They're all going to play 40 minutes.
Yeah, you're gonna set screens and stay in a corner. That's really all you're gonna do. So it's a lot of ISO ball. Unfortunately, the offense is very stagnant. The defense usually pretty solid. Last night, rebounding was a massive concern. At one point, they gave up like 5 straight offensive rebounds to the Miami Heat. It just wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
Also, some dumb foul calls.
Yeah, but I mean, and they also had some open threes at the end of the game. Could have got it closer, didn't hit them. So I mean, you know, sometimes it's a make or miss league as well. But
just hit your damn shots.
I guess my question along those lines is: would you be okay if Matt Rule ends up with a Tom Thibodeau like career at Nebraska,
where you're always just pretty good, like you're there, but not
notable enough,
not championship material.
Because it's weird because we had the conversation yesterday on the captain and VJ. You know, he likes to think of a 20-year hire and you know the next Tom Osborne. And I just kind of think that's not where my mindset is anymore. Not even with this hire. Now, ideally, every coach you hire wins 7 national championships in a row. But I guess what I'm kind of thinking in my expectation of Matt Rule in this hire is to get it back to prominence, not necessarily a national championship team. Now he hasn't stayed anywhere maybe long enough to do that, but his previous stops, that's just it. He didn't stay, you know, long enough. And so, you know, I guess that's just kind of changed my own opinion from the Scott Frost hire. Where it was like, I was right there with where VJ is now. This is a 20-year hire. I think this could be the next big guy in coaching for Nebraska. Obviously, he was coming off a coach of the year and all that stuff. With Matt Rule, you know, I just kind of think, you know what? I think this is a hire, and his resume says as much, to get you back to the level that you basically ran away from.
So, to put it in football terms, would you be okay with the Kirk Ferentz type career? Outside of the being there for, 57 years.
Yeah.
Just like always there, usually in contention, but you're not going to be good enough to win the whole thing.
See, that's the thing is I think at some point, if Kirk Ferentz had the same, like he could have. I mean, he was at Iowa from 99 on. If he was at Nebraska, he wouldn't be here anymore.
No.
But even if you do that from now, where we've fallen, like if you say that, project that moving forward, I don't know. I think at some point you do move the goalposts. I think it's like that's kind of there's a lot of different things that probably led to Coach Pelini being fired, but one of it was the team just felt like it was stuck where it was,
just stagnant,
and where it was solid, and we can all say they haven't gone back to there, but. After 7 years of it, I mean, if Nebraska wins 9 games for the next 7 years, I think they might want to win 10. They might want to win 11. Now, the next step's very important, but
it's understandable. It's understandable to having the same level of success for so long. You can't be upset if your coaching staff or for your fan base if administration decides to move the goalposts, like you said. If you're sitting there 6 years in a row where you're winning 9 games every single year, and administration's like, okay, you need to take the next step. Like, this is good, but take that next step. Get to double digits. Get to 11. Win a conference championship. Like, we're not asking for a national championship. Just get to that next level of whatever sport you're playing. If we're keeping this to football, get to that next level. Make the conference championship and put up a good fight. Stop getting blown out 3 times or 2 times a year. Like, just just moving the goalpost a little bit. It's not a complete move where it's like, okay, we won 9 games. Okay, now it's time to win a national championship. That would be too drastic. But to have the wherewithal and the knowledge and everything to know, you know, after a while of having this level of success, if you're a coach worth your salt, if you're a university worth your salt, you should be more than willing and able, well, not able, but more than willing to take that next step or attempt to take that next step. And if it doesn't happen, I don't know if you know, firing them that next year, but you know, once you decide to move that goalpost, you have X amount of time to get to that level, and hopefully you can sustain that. Because I mean, what Michigan was ready to run uh, Harbaugh out of town just because he couldn't beat Ohio State. And I understand, you know, that's a massive rivalry, and that's the one game a year that you can't lose. But year after year, Michigan was finishing second in the Big Ten East. They're right there on the doorstep of getting to the Big Ten title game. They just can't get past that one hurdle. And if they would have fired him after like the fourth time that he lost to Ohio State, they never would have gotten to where they are now.
Yeah.
You know, competing for a number one recruiting class, being in the college football playoff 2 years in a row, and that was that next step, making it, winning the Big Ten, making it to the college football playoff. They took that step. Now I don't know how many more years they're gonna take losing in the first round, but the next step is going to be to make that championship game, and then the step after that is going to be to win the championship game. So it's all a process, and it's kind of a little bit, even though I don't completely agree with it, kind of what Giannis said after they lost in the first round. It's not a failure of a season.
Yeah.
It's just getting better and learning from the mistakes you made to then take that next step the next season. That's what Harbaugh's done at Michigan, and hopefully, depending on how long he's here, is something that Rule can do here.
Yeah, and it should be noted too with the Pelini talk, or with you know, any, you know, kind of taking that next step that you're talking about, is, man, is it hard to keep what you've accomplished already. I mean, you look at like an Iowa State with Matt Campbell, and you have a Brock Purdy and a Brees Hall, Brees Hall. It's going to be hard to replace those guys.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that, I think that was something that was kind of that we take for granted about the, you know, the Pelini era, is like, yeah, they never got any better. But it's like, yeah, they didn't really get any worse. You know, and that's difficult with how much roster turnover there is, and especially with the college football game moving forward. You know, so I just kind of find that somewhat interesting. And what your expectations are of Matt Rule. Also, the Chris Kleiman contract yesterday. Obviously, Luke Fickell signed at Wisconsin for cheaper. I think Nebraska, and I will say this, I think Nebraska overpaid in the open market for Matt Rule. I will also say this: I don't care anymore, because they also paid Frost, what was it, $7 million or whatever,
something like that,
just to leave for 2 weeks. Money doesn't matter necessarily.
Yeah.
But if you're just judging it based on like what did the contemporaries of Matt Rule, would you say Chris Kleiman, Luke Fickell, or Matt Rule is a better college coach? You could this or that.
Matt Rule's been out for a couple of years.
Right. If anything, I think Matt Rule would be toward the end of that. But that's kind of my point is, but he got paid the most out of all of them.
If you look at it, Chris Kleiman, and this is Chris Kleiman's the most accomplished because he has national titles. Granted, it was at the FCS level, but still, he also beat a handful of FBS Power 5 opponents while he was there.
Yeah.
So, and you know, and this is
and he's a Big 12 champion.
Yeah, second year at Kansas State.
He's been there for about 4 or 5
3.
years.
I don't know how many years he's been there, but you know, he broke through, took that next step, and won the conference.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's kind of interesting to kind of break it down. Nebraska and Auburn over the years have both been like historic. I mean, are the teams over the last 20 years. Nebraska is in that group with Auburn that has the biggest college coach buyout pay that they have to do. I mean, that's just those programs have kind of been those teams. And so if Matt Rule does not work out at Nebraska, you can add that to the list, but there's no reason to think he wouldn't. I do think they somewhat open market overpaid for him, but it doesn't matter. Nebraska has money; they're swimming in it, so they can go out and throw it a few extra dollars to get the guy that you want. And then the other thing is with Trev Alberts, just get the guy you believe in. You know, if it costs you a few more million a year and it's not really going to do anything to your donors or hurt any support, then you know what kind of difference does it make? I just think that's kind of interesting.
You're already pretty much burning money when you fire a coach and still have to pay them despite them not coaching. So what's throwing a couple more bags of cash
Nebraska
on the fire?
taught me. At one time I was all worried at times and thinking, you know, Mike Riley, a bargain bin hire and all this stuff. Nebraska taught me with that Scott Frost move. oh, don't worry about it. The money's there. So fine. The money's there. I don't have to worry about it or think too much about it. I just think that's kind of interesting. Again, Matt Rule last night, though, did have a few notable things to say. I kind of want to get your thoughts, Rico, on some of this stuff. First of all, the door is left open for Logan Smothers or Casey Thompson to return if they just kind of want to get a feeler in the portal. Is that something that somewhat surprises you? I think we kind of got that out of Logan.
Yeah.
Already kind of heard that report. Casey, that's kind of, I don't expect it to happen, but it's kind of interesting.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me because with the way the quarterback room looks now, that all those guys have entered the portal and left and gone other places outside of a couple of guys. Just leaving the door open for them to come back doesn't seem that crazy because it would add to a pretty depleted quarterback room. But like you said, I don't really expect Casey to come. I don't expect Logan to come back either because I feel like they can get some decent offers, but it is late in the process. You're not going to have a lot of time to practice with your new team. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of offers they get and what kind of schools are interested in them. I mean, you saw Casey Thompson visit Auburn. Auburn went a different direction with Peyton Thorne from Michigan State, and then he's visiting FAU, and a lot of people expect him to go there to join Tom Herman, a guy that recruited him to Texas. Which would be, I think that would be a pretty nice spot for Casey Thompson to showcase his skills. So I'm not surprised by the door being left open. I would be surprised if either one of them came back, though.
Yeah, I think that would be a surprise just because they both, like you said, probably going to find playing time elsewhere. How about this? Walk-on John Bullock was mentioned by Matt Rule as one of the best players on the team in the spring. He said he will likely have a future at the next level. John Bullock, maybe not a household name for Husker football fans. But when you're kind of talking about that linebacker position, I'm thinking, maybe MJ Sherman or like who's going to step up there along with Henrich and Reimer. Sounds like John Bullock should be a name just as much as anybody else that we mentioned.
I guess that's a name that we should get comfortable with saying a decent amount.
Yeah.
If they're mentioning him playing at the next level, that would lead you to believe he's in contention to play significant time for Nebraska. If not this season, then next season. So, hey, walk-ons to starters happens every so often in Nebraska, and you're going to get it for the possibly, not saying you're going to possibly get it at the linebacker position for the second time in 4 years after Reimer did it. So.
Yeah, I mean, you might have two starting linebackers that
started
are
as
originally walk-ons. Doesn't matter to me. I know people will have their own takes about that, and I don't think you want too many of those guys beating out your scholarship players because it doesn't.
Yeah, what does that mean for your recruiting?
Well, it doesn't mean you recruited all too well, but at the same time, we've learned this lesson maybe with the Joe Gans, Sam Keller situation. Don't just go with the big hyped guy that you recruited just because the fans expect you. Put the best guy in the field.
Now, is that recruiting misses? Is that a recruiting miss on you for the guys that he's usurping, or is that a recruiting loss for everybody that didn't recruit? I mean, kind of you if he's a walk-on, the walk-on that takes a starting spot.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to look at it, I suppose. But either way, that's not a name that was kind of in the front of my mind until he mentioned it. So I think that's a name we should be expected to kind of pay attention to. Other things that he said, Nebraska's already started scouting its Big Ten opponents. That he watches film of league foes every day. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
I think that's good. I think that maybe behind the scenes you kind of expect that.
Yeah.
But
I think you should be just watching Minnesota.
That's right. That's what we heard.
I don't care about anyone else right now. I care about Minnesota.
I don't think that's the way to go. I think if you have you have months and months to prepare,
you focus on Minnesota.
Perhaps it shouldn't just be Minnesota every day.
No, because then you have the time in between there.
You have a week
to
look at the other team.
You'd be good to go.
Yeah,
that's all you need. But you got to win that first game.
I get that, but you also might lose that first game.
PJ Fleck's doing, he's just watching old Baylor and Temple tapes. That's it.
I'm sure he's watching quite a bit of it, but
maybe some Georgia Tech to get ready for
I kind of
Sims.
feel like that thought is funny because people will say that just focus on your first game, your next game. It's like, I wouldn't do don't put so much on your first game that if you lose it, it's like, what did we just do?
Well, that's it.
Yeah,
season's
now
done.
we got a week to figure out the next thing. We already
season's done. Well, there's no film on Colorado, so you don't have to. I don't even. You know how much film you're going to have to watch with the 71 scholarship players and only 12 of them. The thing is, like, they were down to 12, but it wasn't 12 returners. it was just 12 scholarship guys. Some had transferred in earlier that year or earlier this cycle. So I don't know what Colorado is going to look like.
If they field a team of 85 scholarship players, I might be slightly surprised at this point.
It'd be pretty impressive.
Also, Matt Rule said there's no other position on our team more bought in to be a Nebraska Cornhusker than our offensive line. He said they work at a level I've never seen a group work at. You like to hear that. You hope that line takes a step up. I am a little bit worried. Sometimes you get like one comment too many, or like one. You're saying too many nice things.
Stop hyping them up.
That last, they work at a level I've never seen a group work at. It's like, you've been around some NFL guys. I mean,
stop hyping them up.
I know, and he has. I mean, he's been out there kind of trying to protect what the offensive line's image is, I suppose, over the last couple of years and what he's inheriting. But it's not. The problem is it's just not a secret. Like, Husker fans know the line is the line of scrimmage league, and Nebraska hasn't been up to par there. So you can say what you want and say that that they're at a better spot than what people give them credit for, but it just kind of is what it is right now.
Yeah, you've seen the guys. Their bodies have changed from last season, but you just got to wait until that first Saturday and see what the offensive line has. And like I said, you stop hyping them up.
Yeah,
you're gonna if you're doing it, if you're trying to protect them this badly, and you keep doing this, and they don't take that step up,
then
it's not gonna look great.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been coaches over the years definitely that have done that, and then the next year, like, I just don't really know if I believe what the coaches are saying. You go from a spot from like the coaches the closest to the team, they know the guys, they're in and out, they know it all, and then Bob Diaco says that one of his safeties is going to be an All-American, and then it doesn't happen. You go, well, maybe
maybe I don't have to believe.
Maybe not everything they say is going to be gospel. All right, let's take a quick break here on 93.7. We'll be back with the crossover with Nick Sainert of a happy hour coming next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Jay Foreman. When I played football for Nebraska and in the NFL, I wore protective gear to safeguard my health. I'm not only protecting our community by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Update your protection with the bivalent COVID vaccine while it's still free. Find out more at healthylincoln.org. That's healthylincoln.org.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Tailored Life is now open in Bennett. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home, both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of potted trees, shrubs, vines, perennials, and colorful annuals, plus porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and rise for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Botany Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
Vershawn Jackson for Brand. Brand's been in business for 29 years, and they specialize in a variety of things. If you're looking for someone to get the job done in precision demolition, excavating, trucking, mass grading, and site prep, Brand is the place to call. To set up a quote or learn more, call Brand Excavating at 402-474-4113 or go to BrandExcavating.com. They're also hiring, so join the team today. Brand Excavating, a part of the Bauer brand, who reminds you, oh, be great.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mix concrete, Husker concrete, and Beatrice concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training.
Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere sprayer from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Leverage the industry's latest technology with See & Spray to target weeds in season in corn and soybeans, and use less herbicide per acre. Utilize Exact Apply to save in chemical usage and prevent over-application. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time, on the banks of your local pond, in a bend in a river, or in one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line, here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet and AFM first, 93.7 The Ticket. Back to the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We may have learned of a new, worse way to break up with a significant other, be it Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods.
Oh, I'm sorry. What? Wait a minute. You didn't tell me this before the show started. Hold on.
No. We found it. There's always, you can talk about, is texting bad? Certainly shouldn't break up with somebody through an email.
Bach, you trying to tell me something?
No. All I'm saying is Tiger Woods' ex-girlfriend has now accused Woods of having his lawyer break up with her at an airport in October. After falsely telling her they were going on a weekend trip. So not only did she get the breakup news, she was planning on going on a weekend trip. The lawyer, not Tiger, the lawyer had to tell her that they were broke up, and also then evicted her from Woods' $54 million mansion north of Palm Beach. We have to let these things play out in court. We only know one side of the story, so I'm not saying that's absolutely true or the case. I'm just saying I think that's probably the worst way to break up. And another thing is, why is there a lawyer involved? I mean, part of it is because she maybe worked for Tiger Woods or whatever, but they're not married. That would be where the lawyer comes in. How do you have a lawyer involved with breaking up with just a girlfriend?
I don't know.
That's got to be the worst way to have a breakup. On the way to a vacation.
I could think of was it with him or was it just on her own vacation?
I think it was supposed to be their vacation, for a weekend trip.
Well, as long as she was still able to go and just have a nice vacation by herself, I don't, that couldn't have been that bad. But I feel like there are worse ways to get broken up with.
Yeah, but I mean, your standard break up with somebody through text. This is worse.
Is it?
I think so.
I think a public breakup is worse.
Oh, yes. Nick knows all about public breakups.
Yeah.
I learned that from what?
Hey, coffee shop.
I think that's worse. Yeah. Well, that one was kind of quiet. It was public, but it wasn't. There weren't a lot of people there, right?
Here's the thing.
I mean, like at a baseball game or something like Like, especially like when you go to propose and they're like, no, that's worse.
I would rather you say yes,
And then in private,
say like listen, because not only do you look like a really bad person, but it really embarrasses the other person.
But it's also kind of, but like I can understand from like, and I'm not saying maybe this is a bit sexist for me to presume, but perhaps maybe at times the male is the bigger fan of the baseball game than the female.
Hey,
and if that's the case, then I would also be somewhat offended. Like, if you took me to your like, is this romantic for you or is this romantic for me?
I'll never forget when like Mike Pelt proposed to his girlfriend at the No Sit Sunday.
Yes,
that was electric.
That was awesome.
When Mike Pelt proposed, and it was like, all right, Nebraska's winning this game.
well, then it was, State after they beat upset Oklahoma.
Yes.
And the
That
guy,
was awesome.
yeah, it is just like, I gotta go propose to your girlfriend now.
I don't know.
Everybody's like, come on, what are you doing?
I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know. Where's the worst place to propose to your girlfriend?
The worst place to propose? Oh,
No, I'm not.
bathroom, I guess?
I'm talking like I'm not talking like a dump. Like I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm like
yeah.
like realistically, where's the worst place? Here's the thing. Oh, I should probably be careful. I don't know how I feel about holiday proposals.
You don't like those?
Dude, holiday proposals are great if you do it right.
But then it's like
those proposals,
you're
in
like-
front of the massive tree in New York. Those are awesome.
Here's
Those are great.
No, I'm saying like on Christmas Day or on Thanksgiving. I don't know.
Like why? Yeah, you're not like celebrating
I
the
don't know
day
how I
that you
feel about that.
proposed.
I don't know. Okay, here's the worst place. At somebody else's wedding.
Yes,
Oh,
that is the worst. That is the worst.
That is the worst thing. I think we can all agree.
Unless you ask and that person says yes.
No, because what are they supposed
there's
to say? What are they supposed to say?
You say no.
I would say no.
But then
I would say no. It's my moment. Shut up.
We'll see, but I think like some people in that time they're like, yeah, that'd be really cool. Like, yeah, you get proposed on my day or like on the day I get married, and then like you got it, and that day comes and they're like, crap, I really wish I would have said no.
I'd say, hey, buddy,
Well-
why don't you think about any other day? Literally, any other day.
How about tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm paying a lot of money here.
Like, I'll be gone.
My
I go
wife's
on my
birthday,
honeymoon.
Yeah,
You can do it in the building. I
just yeah.
I am not asking for a friend. I am not there.
No,
we are not there.
Not
don't rush
there.
No,
How many times do you have to say not there?
I am 22 and I am not there.
That's right. You have plenty of time left.
I gotta enjoy life.
All right, let's completely turn this thing on its head. Should Bob Huggins be fired?
Yes.
Yes, but I don't think you will.
You don't think he will be?
Oh no.
You think you will?
Oh yeah.
This is kind of
He said it
okay, yeah. This is something I was going to talk about and bring up to Rico. Statements are so stupid,
Yeah.
right? Like statements, you know darn well.
After you've done something wrong.
Yeah.
Bob
like,
Huggins' parents made him write a note.
There's no way.
I'm sorry.
Well, first of all, it's like you weren't sorry until you got caught.
Which you
And
did
that's
on radio.
that's the situation. Like every statement is finds itself. I just like
Have you listened to the audio?
Yeah.
So I don't think it was like a scheduled interview.
Hmm.
The way that he answers the phone, and I was talking about this with Bill and Jake earlier. It sounded as if he was just waking up or something. Because he answers, he's like, "Hello." Like it might have been like they texted him 5 minutes before,
Yeah.
like, "Hey, we're gonna give you a call." Like we're talking because they were talking about Bob Huggins' stories, and they're like, "Hey, Bob, we're gonna give you a call," and then they just called him. Like I don't think he was prepared to do an interview that day.
I mean, the way that like you said,
No, I'm just like I'm not justifying it. I'm
Yeah.
just saying like
if it that's
he wasn't. I don't think he was in the right state of mind.
that's the dumbfounding part about it is like, you can't apologize for something that you said publicly, knowing if you were on, public radio or, on the radio. It's very strange. And for Bob Huggins, a legendary coach, I liked watching him grow up. I mean, when I was growing up, with the Cincinnati teams, he had a good team at Kansas State before handing that thing over to Frank Martin. And but he didn't, the apology falls flat because of the way he said it.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is, this is, it wasn't something caught on tape or something. I mean, it's just very strange that someone would not have the wherewithal, someone that speaks and has done so for 38 years publicly, would say something like that. So
I just think statements are so stupid because I'm like, number one, I don't think he means it. I don't think anybody that makes a statement means what they're stating.
Well, I'm wondering if the two hosts are going to have to release statements because one of them said something before Huggins said what he said that was a little iffy, and the other one laughed after Bob said it and just goes, "I love, Huggy Bear or
the
whatever."
reaction was like, "Oh, isn't he the best?"
They're like, "Oh, this is great!" Like they didn't care. Like maybe they didn't hear it or whatever, but I'm like, didn't hear it.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if they're going to have to make statements or something along those lines.
Yeah.
It was just bad. It's a bad interview.
A bad couple of days in the broadcasting world.
Yeah.
You have Bob Huggins, and then you have the Oakland A's announcer.
Yep, that was also bad. That was very bad.
Really bad couple of days.
All right, one last thing before we get out of here. Incoming freshman for Florida, wide receiver Andy Jean says Graham Mertz. This was his feeling on Graham Mertz. I feel like he's another Joe Burrow. What do you guys think? A chance to Graham Mertz.
What
Next Joe Burrow?
Wasn't ready for that one.
Graham Mertz is bad.
Joe Burrow at Ohio State?
Yeah.
Didn't Florida had such a bad spring game that they added to the quarterback room, I believe, didn't they?
I believe so.
Yeah, I thought I saw that, but it was not a good spring game.
We need to set an over under at Graham Mertz interceptions.
Ooh,
He's not going to start the full season now, I don't think.
Over under games.
Games started might be.
If I put it at 5.5, just gut reaction, 5.5. Over.
I'd say that's about that's a good spot. I'd say
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say over.
About
Maybe
half
6,
the season.
6,
Yeah, about half the season.
That's about right. All right, that'll wrap it up for the Ticket Water Cooler Happy Hour coming next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or engine molding? We got you. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Gardner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with 70-year history here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GardnerIndustries.com. If you want top small hours and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GardnerIndustries.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
It's May, and that means the school year is almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride. Summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time, on the banks of your local pond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line. Here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues, your home and business.